Good morning, all, and thank you for joining the webinar conducted by Adam Global on corporate tax, small business relief. We have two experienced professionals in regards to the field of direct and indirect taxes who would be taking you through uh, the presentation of small business relief. To start with, we would like to give you a quick brief about Adam Global, who we are. So I have Mr. Fahad, who will just take you through with the presentation of Adam Global. Mr. Fahad.
Thank you, Alan. I can see that people are still joining in, but obviously we have some time constraints, so we need to start. Good morning to all the eager souls uh, that participate in such knowledge sharing sessions. It's such a privilege. Transforming lives is no less important than saving lives. More than 2 decades ago, our founding chairman, Professor Tahir Akhtar, who is a UK-based surgeon doctor and a serial entrepreneur and has led many humanitarian missions, came to Dubai in pursuit of scaling up his businesses to global level. He faced the usual hardships that we all face while trying to enter into new markets, but that encouraged him to build up an organization that can assist people not only in starting their businesses, but growing their businesses to the international level. Since then, it's been 22 years now. We have served thousands of individuals, small and medium scale organizations, and big corporations. Some of the very big brands became our clients for their life. In order to celebrate such successes with our clients, we do organize international business forums every year. Our service providers are there across the globe. They include accredited and regulated service professionals such as lawyers, accountants, business consultants, healthcare professionals, and many other specialized consultants. Our presence is in many continents, in many countries, in Europe, in Asia, Africa, Middle East, and in many countries. Last year, this year, we organized an international business forum in Italy, but we have been organizing such events in many other prominent places of the world, such as Greece, Mauritius, Thailand, Berlin, London, Dubai, and at many other places. These events offer huge opportunities to our clients and to our service providers to nurture their business relationships with each other, to grow their businesses at international level, and also learn from the industry experts. This very webinar is also a small effort in the same direction. Through these webinars, we try to enable the startups, the entrepreneurs, and the existing business people so that they can achieve their goals with as ease as possible. That is the very role we are offering through Adam Global. I'm really grateful to all the participants who share, who join such webinars where we all get an opportunity to learn from the industry experts. Without further ado, I would request Mr. Allen to proceed with the rest of the program. Over to Allen.
Thanks, Fahad, for the brief about Adam Global. So our first speaker for today is Smitha Jacob. Ms. Smitha Jacob is a stalwart at Adam Global. She's holding around 15 years of experience in advising diversified companies in direct and direct taxation. She's heading the department as the director taxation. Smitha, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Good morning, all. Small, medium enterprises are getting special focus from UAE government as they are playing an important role for the economic growth of UAE. So many schemes are announced for SMEs by the SME sector in UAE. Likewise, the Small Business Relief under Corporate Tax is a scheme which is offered to the small business residents to ensure the smooth transition to UAE corporate tax regime. And this provision gives 3 years of time to the small business owners so that they can prepare themselves for the comprehensive tax compliance. So today discussion, we will see what is small business relief, who is eligible for the relief and who is not eligible for the relief, how the relief works, and how to elect for small business relief. As per this endeavor of small business relief, small business entities such as UAE SMEs, startups, and individuals, those who are conducting the business, get relaxation on the corporate tax compliance obligations. So this was affirmed by the Article 21 of the Federal Decree Law number 47 of 2022 of the Corporate Tax Law. The revenue threshold and the timeline has been announced as per the Ministerial Decision number 73 of 2023 on 3rd of April 2023. And recently, FTA has issued a guidance note on the small business relief in August 2023 to understand about the relief by the small business. So over to the next slide. What is small business relief? Small business relief is provided to the small business residents for the corporate tax purposes in the UAE to ease their implementation of the corporate tax regime, and it helps business to reduce the compliance obligation faced in the early stages of the corporate tax regime. Any eligible person with a revenue below or equal to 3 million dirham in the relevant tax period and all the previous tax period that end on or before 31st December 2026 can elect and be treated as no taxable income during that relevant tax period. So eligible taxable person will not be required to calculate their taxable income, and they are getting a benefit of simplified tax return filing instead of full tax return filing, and they are getting relaxation on record keeping requirements, including they can able to prepare the financial statement using the cash basis of accounting or IFRS for the SMEs. So simply speaking, they are getting two kinds of relief. First one is administrative relief and the tax relief. Tax relief, they are no need to calculate the taxable income, and eventually no need to pay the tax. And for the administrative relief, they can file a simplified tax return and they are getting the relaxation of bookkeeping requirements. Over to the next slide. Who is eligible for the small business relief? As this relief is intended for the small residents, and either it can be a natural person or a juridical person. A natural person should be conducted business or business activity in the UAE, and a juridical person means an entity who's having a separate legal personality apart from their owners. And the revenue threshold, revenue of the taxable person for the relevant tax period and previous tax period does not exceed 3 million And the revenue should be determined in accordance with the international financial standards for SMEs or can follow the cash basis. But here, what is revenue? Revenue means all the income generated during the relevant tax period, including the exempt income as well. So while calculating the total revenue, you should include normal tax revenue as well as the exempted tax revenue as well. Over to the next slide. So who is not eligible for the small business relief? Small business relief is intended only for the residents. So non-resident will not be eligible for this small relief. And also the qualifying free zone companies, those who are already getting 0% under the corporate tax law, will not be eligible to get this relief. So all other free zone companies not come under the qualifying free zone person can be check their eligibility to claim this relief. And the business, if the business is a member of a multinational group, they are also not getting the eligibility to claim the small relief. So who is MNE group or multinational group? Multinational groups are group of entities that operate their business in more than one countries and the revenue, group consolidated revenue is more than 3.15 billion dirhams and are required to prepare a country by country report under the CBSR legislation of UAE. So So we are going to see how does the small business relief works. We already have discussed that though companies those who are opting for the business relief is getting a benefit of no need to calculate the taxable income for the relevant tax period. And if the eligible person revenue exceeds 3 million in any of the three tax periods, so they are losing the eligibility to claim the relief not only for the particular relevant year, for the future years also they are losing the eligibility. So we can check for the 3 years revenues and profits, and we can check also how the business are getting the eligibility or not. So during the year 2024, the revenue of the company is 2.8 million and cost is 2 million. Profit or taxable income is 800,000 and the corporate tax payable calculation up to 375,000. Zero rate is available. Zero is the rate and 425,000 9% is this rate. So the corporate tax due would be 38,250. This is the normal scenario. And if there is no small business relief, the company should pay the 38,250 as corporate tax. But the company can check whether the company is eligible to get the relief or not. So in this case, the relevant tax period is 2024 and the revenue threshold is less than 3 million, 2.8 million only. So the company is eligible to get the small business relief. And for this 2024, the previous tax period is nil. So this company can get the small business relief. And during 2025, you can see that the revenue is 3.8 million and the the total tax revenue is 1 million and the total corporate tax due is 56,250. As the company crosses the revenue threshold of 3 million during the year 2025, so the company is not eligible to get the small business relief. And during 2026, you can see that the revenue is 2.8 million and the profit or taxable income would be 1.5 million after reducing the cost. And the corporate tax due is 101,250. Whether the company is eligible to claim the small business relief during the year 2026. As in the previous year, it's already crossed the threshold of 3 million. And during the year, even though the company is not crossed the threshold, the company already lost the eligibility to claim the small business relief. So the company is no more eligible to get the business relief. Over to the next slide. How to elect for small business relief. It's an optional relief. So we should see it's an optional relief. Actually, small business relief is an optional relief for the company. So every year they should elect for whether they need to apply for the relief or not. And registration is mandatory for all juridical person, and for the individuals, those who are more than 1 million, the individuals those are conducting business and the business revenue is more than 1 million, then they need to mandatorily they need to register. And all juridical person, it's a mandatory to register with the corporate tax to claim for this relief and meet the conditions for small relief. As we already seen that it's only for the it's only this relief is available only for the residents, and it should not be a MNC part of business and should not be a qualified free zone company. And the revenue threshold should be 3 million for the relevant tax period and the previous tax period. Then only they will meet, they can eligible to get the small business relief. And they should elect for the business small business relief during the tax filing, and they can file a simplified tax return as well. And election must be, it's an optional relief, so election must be made for each tax period in the tax return filed for the relief to apply for the tax period. So we have seen some advantages of the corporate tax relief, but there are some impacts also. So we are going to discuss in detail. Mr. Visagh is waiting for a discussion. Thank you all. Over to you, Mr. Alan.
Thanks a lot, Smitha. This, I'm sure, is very insightful in terms for what is small business relief, who is eligible, how it works, and how to elect for small business relief. Thank you so much. So our next speaker is Mr. Visagh Menon. He's the senior manager taxation. Mr. Visagh is holding 9 years of experience in taxation. He's specialized in direct taxation. Over to you, Mr. Visagh.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much for the introduction. First of all, I mean to thank you, Ms. Smitha, for a beautiful session for us. So she already discussed about what is the business relief and who is eligible for business relief and how it does work and how to elect this one. So in my session, I'm going to discuss some other areas of corporate tax, how this business relief is going to affect. Sorry, I am audible to all, right?
Yes, Visagh, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So these are the three areas I am going to discuss with you during this session. The first one is related compliance requirements, artificial separation, and other topics. So one by one, we will discuss in the coming slides. So we can go to the next slide. Ala. We can start with the related compliance requirements. So we already discussed what is business relief. So you all know now what is business relief. If the turnover is less than 3 million, then only we will eligible for the small business relief. But on the other hand, if you are choosing the business relief under the corporate tax, some areas of corporate tax will affect due to this selection. So these are some major areas we are going to discuss how these areas going to affect the small business relief. The major one is tax loss relief. How we can deal with the tax loss if we are choosing business relief or we are not choosing the business relief. How we can deal with the exempted income when we are choosing the business relief or we are not choosing the exempted income. Like that, net interest expenditure and other relief. So we are going to discuss detail about these areas, how these areas going to affect by small business relief. So coming to the next slide, Ala. So tax losses. So how the small business relief is going to affect the tax losses as per the corporate tax law. So Article 38 of the corporate tax law is dealing with the tax losses. As per the Article 38 of the corporate tax losses incurred during the year we can carry forward to the subsequent tax period for n number of years. The law is giving a benefit that there is no limit for carry forward the tax losses. So tax losses is, for example, we can discuss example in the coming slide. So I am explaining if a company have a loss in a tax period, so company can carry forward this tax loss to the n number of years, and we can utilize this loss in the coming year's profit. So the this one though. So this is the Article 38 of corporate tax is saying. Alan, come to the next slide. We can have an example for this one. I have a couple of examples for this one. In the example number one, if you go through that one, we will come to know that this is the year January 2025. We have ABC LLC Limited. During the year, they have a revenue of 2.5 million and they have a cost of 3.5 million. Obviously, they are in a loss of around 1 million during the year 2025 tax period. So this is the situation. So we are not noted down. We are in January 2025, and in during the year, company have a revenue of 2.5 million and the cost of 3.5 million. Obviously, they have a 1 million loss in December 2025. So we can think in a different purview how it will affect when the ABC Limited opted for the business relief or when ABC Limited is not elected for the small business relief. So we can discuss if ABC Limit elect for the small business relief is elected for the small relief. So this 1 million they can't carry forward to the next years. As we discussed, because they are taking the small business relief. So as we discussed in the previous slide, they can't take this 1 million to the next year. So this 1 million is no longer available in the future period. On the other hand, if they are not electing for the small business relief, then they can carry forward this 1 million loss to the subsequent tax periods. Then they can net off with the future tax period. I hope you people understand this example. And I'm coming to the next example. We can discuss in a different scenario. So Mr. X is a resident person. So now we are talking about 2024, not 2025. We are talking about 2024. That is the first year of relief. In that year, he has a revenue of 2.5 million, and he is not electing for the small relief, and he have a tax loss of 400,000. So since he is not electing for the small business relief, he can carry forward this 400,000 to the subsequent years, as we discussed earlier. So when we are coming, so 2024 is over. What we discussed, he is not electing for the small business relief. So he have a 400,000 loss. So we are carry forwarding to the next year. So what happened in 2025? In 2025, Mr. X have a revenue of 1.7 million, and he's elect for the small business because he is under 3 million threshold limit. So he have option to elect the small business relief. So in this year, we have a carry forward loss of the 400,000 the last year because of he elected for the small business relief. He can't set off this 400,000 in the current year. That is 2025. But he can carry forward to the next year when this Mr. X not using this small business relief in his tax return. So I hope these are the two different areas how the tax losses is going to affect. So we can move to the next slide, Alan. So next part is exempted income. So as per section 2022 of the corporate tax, some corporate tax is saying that some incomes are excluded from the calculating of the taxable income. So these are some examples of the exempted income. See, dividend and other profit distribution received from a juridical person, other income, any capital gain who fulfill the participating interest. I'm not going in depth to the exempted income. We will discuss in a later webinar. So we will discuss all these things in a later stage. So I am saying that these are the some list of exempted income as per Article 22 of the corporate tax. So normally we are not taking the business relief, so these incomes are exempted from the corporate tax. So if you are choosing the business relief, as we Mr. Smitha discussed, we have to add this exempted income also to the total revenue of the taxable person. I think it's better to we can discuss through an example. Alan, can you go to the next slide? We can have an example over there. So this is the example for that exempted income. In this one, so I am taking the same example, ABC LLC. He's a resident person. During the year 2024, he have a sales of 2.5 million. Apart from this, ABC LLC received the dividend of around 1 million from DF Limited. So in this case, if you are not electing the business relief, our income is 2.5 million only. So as per Article 22, dividend received from a resident person is exempt. So what will happen now if we are planning to choose the small business relief, we have to add, see, if you go to the second paragraph, we can see that the dividend income should be included in the calculation of ABC LLC revenue. That is, the total revenue will be 2.5 say plus 1 million. So in this case, ABC is not eligible to elect the small business relief for the tax period ending 31st December 2024 because he already crossed the threshold of 3.5 because of this dividend income. So I am concluding this one. That means if you are choosing the small business relief, all exempted income under section under Article 2022 should included in the taxable income. After adding all these, if the total income is less than 3 million, then we can choose the small business relief. If it is going more than 3 million, we are not eligible for electing the small business relief. This is for the exempted income. So Alan, can you go to the next slide regarding the interest expenditure? So interest expenditure, Article 30 of the corporate tax is dealing with the net interest expenditure. So as per that article, law is saying that you can claim only 30% of the EBITDA. EBITDA means earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So 30% of the EBITDA. So the balance interest portion we can carry forward to the next 10 years. So this is what Article 30 talking about the interest expenditure. So this is similar to the tax relief. If you are claiming business relief, we will not get the benefit of carry forwarding of this excess interest expenditure. So it will lapse, and we can't carry forward this excess net expenditure to the following tax periods. So we can have an example for this one also. Alan, can you go to the next slide? So this is the example. So in this case, same ABC LLC is there. He's a resident person for the corporate tax purpose. In the year 2024, he have a revenue of 2 million. So he's less than 3 million. He's eligible for small business relief. So in that year, ABC LLC has a interest expenditure of excess. This is not expenditure, excess. That is above 30% of the EBITDA. So they have around 400,000 excess. So if ABC LLC is not electing for the small business relief, this excess expenditure of 400,000, which can be carry forward to the next subsequent years, we can set up in the next year. On the other hand, if ABC LLC choose for the business relief, this net expenditure of around 400,000 will not be carried forward to the next period. So this one and tax laws are almost similar. So if you are choosing this one, we can utilize the in current year as well as in the subsequent tax period. So I'll go to the next slide. So these are some other areas we have to discuss about how this business relief is going to affect. So the first one is there is a business structuring relief as per Article 27 and qualifying group relief according to the Article 26 of the corporate tax law. In this case, they have some benefit. This benefit will not be there if they are choosing for the small business relief. On the transfer pricing side, they are not. This is a benefit for the actually for the SMEs. Transfer pricing documentation rules do not apply to the people who is choosing small businesses, but they should follow Article number 34 regarding the arm's length. So concluding that they have to follow that transfer pricing rules and all the transactions should be in arm's length. On the other hand, the transfer pricing documentation such as master file, local file No need to follow that rule for the small business relief. So another one is the most, I think this is from my practical experience, this is the most relevant point which most of the clients are asking for the tax group. How small business relief is affecting the tax group. So we know 3 million is the threshold limit. So people are asking me that, for example, there are three companies in a tax group. Each companies have, for example, less than 1 million, 2 million, and 2.5 million. Individually, they are less than 3 million, but collectively it is going beyond 3 million. So as per the corporate tax law, what they are saying, if you collective income, how many people are there in the tax group, we have to add all their revenue. It is less than 3 million, then only we will get the benefit of the business relief. So it is irrelevant what is the revenue of the each member of the tax group. We have to add all the revenue. Then if it is less than 3 million, then we can go to the small business relief. So these are the some other areas for the small business relief. Alan, can you go to the next slide? So record keeping. So this is the one of the major requirement. So we already discussed we have to provide only the revenue. How much revenue we have to file in the simple return. So we should have the FTA saying that the person who is claiming the small business relief, he should have the all evidence which prove revenue is not exceeded the small business relief threshold of the relevant tax period. So person should keep the old record like sales invoice. What are the document? They are not mentioning any document name. They are saying that relevant evidence. So we should have all the relevant evidence to show that our revenue is not coming, not go beyond the 3 million. So FTA is saying that there is no requirement to keep in a paper format. So we can keep it in electronically in whatever format we want. So we can keep it as either electronically or manually in the papers. So there is a duration also. We have to keep the this all these files up to 7 years from the end of the relevant tax period. For example, if you are claiming the small business relief in 2024, we have to keep 7 years from 2025. So 2025 to 2032, we have to keep the books of 2024 up to 2032. So these are the requirements for the small business relief claiming people for record keeping and other requirements. So I'll go to the next slide. So artificial separation. What is artificial separation? Suppose any business artificially split its operation to fall within the revenue threshold to avail the small business relief. It is considered as the contravention to the gain a corporate tax advantage under the general anti-abuse rule of corporate tax law. So in this one, law is saying that we have a limit of 3 million. So people maybe there is a chance to they have maybe for example they have 5 million revenue. So people will what will do, maybe there's a chance to split the revenue. You will split the revenue and make the revenue under 3 million, they will get the benefit of 3 million. So if people are doing that split to get the corporate tax advantage, then it will come under the GAR rule. And FTA is thinking that they are doing this change for getting the corporate tax advantage, then that taxpayer have to face the legal consequence. So there are three types of law is saying there are three types of artificial separation. Alan, can you go to the next slide? There are three types of separation law is saying. One is functional separation, the other one is geographical separation, and the third one is temporal separation. I think it's better to have a example in these three, so will you people will get a better understanding. In the functional separation, FTA given a perfect example saying that if a person have a business, so for example a restaurant business, he is selling the food as well as he is selling the drinks, so juice area and the food selling area. So he is getting around 500,000. Normally, he is getting around 5 million as a revenue. So for getting the benefit of this 3 million, maybe he will start a new company and he will separate this business. So for example, he is in one company, he is selling the food sale business, and the other company he is selling the juice business. So maybe because of this reason, both companies will come under the less than 3 million. So they will get the benefit of the small business rule. FTA is saying that for getting your intention is to get the advantage of the corporate tax, then it will come under the artificial separation. So this is will not allow from the FTA. Gradually, they have to face the legal consequence. For next example is geographical separation. in the same example, around one person is doing one business, so he have around 5 million revenue during the year. So he want to split this business. So for example, he is doing the business in Dubai. So for bringing the revenue less than 3 million, he opened a new company in Sharjah. And when he reached the revenue of 2.8 million, he stopped invoicing from this company and gradually he shifted to the Sharjah company. So the next invoicing will start from the Sharjah company. So in this both companies, the revenue will not go 3 million. So he will get the benefit of the small business relief. So FTA is saying that this is also only for the purpose of getting the corporate tax advantage. So this will come under the artificial separation. If your intention is only for getting corporate tax advantage, the people will have to face the legal consequences. The final one is temporary separation. For example, one person, one guy X and his wife have a company. So Mr. X, both are companies in the same area. So they started. Mr. X started the business in the first year, beginning of the year. So he started invoicing. When he reached up to a particular limit, for example, 2.6 million, then he stopped the invoicing and he shifted the business to his wife company. So the next half year or more, next year balance in the years, the wife company is invoicing the client for this one. This is also the intention is to split the revenue and bring the revenue less than the 3 million. So this separation is only to get the corporate tax advantage. This is also will come under the artificial separation. The taxpayer have to face the legal consequences. These are the three separations FTI mentioned in their guidance note. So I'll come to the next slide. So FTA, if you file the return, FTA will conduct a artificial test. FTA is thinking that if this separation is for a commercial purpose, there is a valid commercial reason other than for getting the corporate tax advantage, then FTA said, okay, this is a genuine case, you can go ahead with this decision. If FTA feel that this separation is only to get the corporate tax advantage, then they will say that this is a artificial separation. So this is only for getting the corporate tax advantage. So you people have to face the legal consequence from the FTA side. These are some important factors to consider for the reviewer: the financial links, economic links, and the organization and other structure links. These are the areas when FTA will do the artificial separation test. Okay, so I'll go to the next slide. So we are coming to the conclusion. These are the summary what we are discussed till now. I think we can have a small overview for this one. So in this slide, we are discussing what these are the particular area and what will happen if the business elect small business relief or if they are not electing the small business relief. The first one is it required to register for the business for the corporate tax? Of course, everyone have to register for the small corporate tax for getting the benefit. If they are taking a small relief or they are not taking the relief, registration is mandatory for all. So in the second one is required to file a full tax return. For the people who is opting small business relief, no need to file the full tax return. They need to file only a small tax return. Then no need to fill the too many data and all. But the other people who is not claiming the business relief, they have to fill the full tax return. So this is the third point already we discussed. Can we file a simple tax return? Only the person who claiming the small business relief can file the tax return. The other people can take the simplified tax return. So required to calculate the taxable income. So already Ms. Smitha discussed, no need to calculate the taxable income for the people who elected the small business relief. Other people have to calculate how much is the total taxable income, and they have to file a full tax return. So coming to the next point, no corporate tax to pay. Yes, for the people who elected the small business relief, they have no need to pay the tax. Other people depend upon the taxable income up to 375. There is no tax. Beyond the 375, they have to pay the 9% tax. So coming to the point number 6, can accrue and utilize tax losses for the relevant tax period subject to condition. We already discussed they can accrue or to carry forward the tax losses. Other people can carry forward and utilize the tax losses in the subsequent years. Same for the interest expenditure also. They for the people who claiming small business relief, they can't take the excess expenditure during the period or carry forward. For the other people, they can utilize the excess expenditure to the subsequent period. Same with carry forward loss also same. From the taxpayer subject to can carry forward tax losses and excess expenditure from the previous tax period subject to conduct. So there are from the previous tax period they can carry forward the tax to the subsequent tax period which they are not taking the small business relief. So coming to the point number 9, can apply relief for transfers within the qualified group or business restructuring concern. This one we already discussed. There is no benefit for the from this area for the small business people. Other people can take the benefit of this one. So must comply with the transfer pricing documentation requirement. For the small business relief people, no need to document the no need to follow the transfer pricing documentation requirements, but the other people should have whose turnover is more than 200 million have to follow the transfer pricing documentation. Finally, must comply with the arm's length principle. In the both cases, the people have to follow the arm's length principle if they are opting small business relief or not. So I'll come to the next slide.
Thanks a lot, Visagh, for the insights on related compliance requirement, artificial separation, and other topics as well. I'm sure this was very insightful for all our participants who have joined in. Um, we have a lot of queries, a lot of questions come in from our participants. We've tried to answer most of them. So I would just like to go through few of them, wherein both our speakers could highlight as well and give the answer. So Vishak, this is, I guess, related to you to your topic that you've spoken on. Miss Priyanka has given a query wherein she said that is this relief applicable to tax groups?
Yeah, we already discussed when it is applicable to tax group. If there, how many members are there in the tax group? Their collective revenue, not individually. If their collective revenue is less than 3 million, then they can choose the business relief for the tax group.
Thanks a lot, Vishak, for answering this. There's another question from Mr. Victor. I guess this goes out to Ms. Smitha because this is related to her subject that she spoke on. Ms. Smitha, this is for you
Okay.
by Mr. Victor. Is the
Okay.
relief automatically available to small scale companies?
The relief is not automatically available in order to, because it is an optional relief. In order to get the relief, business should first register themselves and opt for the relief, and they can file the simplified tax return as well.
Thank you so much for the reply, Ms. Smitha. There's a very interesting example that Mr. Leslie has given, and I think Smitha, you can answer this as well. So he has a saloon in Dubai, and his monthly revenue is about 100,000 dirhams. Is he eligible to get the exemption?
There's 1,000 dirhams is monthly revenue, right?
100,000 dirhams monthly
100,000
revenue.
dirhams. Okay.
Yes,
So that means more than 1 million. And
correct.
a saloon, okay. This is not an exemption, it is a relief. And they can get the relief as the revenue is more than 1 million. And for example, if it is a proprietor or a sole proprietor, an individual, then up to 1 million, no need to register. So in this case, it is more than 1 million. So they need to register and can get this relief.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. So there's another question from Mr. John. He's saying, how is this relief helpful for the free zone companies? It's a very good question. Who would like to take it? I think Vishak, you can take this up.
Yeah, Alan, for the free zone, the person who is claiming 0% corporate tax, this benefit is not available to those people. So there are the people who is not taking the 0% benefit, they can take the benefit of the small business relief if their revenue is less, if they meet the conditions of the business relief. So if they are not opting for 0%, obviously they will get the benefit of the small business relief.
Thank you so much, Vaishak. And we can take a last question as well, since we are up with our time. The
Alan,
last question.
there are
Yeah.
sorry. Other than the questions that you have been receiving through emails, there are few questions that we are receiving through chat. So I would like you to see if you can entertain some of those.
Sure. Uh, I'll take one from there, Fad, since we are delayed with our time. But I'm sure we are going to reply to each and every question that we have received. I will also drop in the email address, so I'm sure you can see the email address. Please feel free to ask more and more questions, and in the next 24 hours, you should get in an answer as well with your query. So one of the question from the chat by Miss Cheryl is that if the sole proprietor can get this relief. I think Vishak, you can take this question up.
Yeah, of course. Or if he is a natural person, if he is a resident natural person, obviously he will get the benefit of the small business relief. Apart from this, if his sole establishment revenue is less than 1 million, corporate tax law is giving a benefit to them. Even no need to register with the corporate tax. So up to 1 million, they have another relief apart from the small business relief. No need to register with the corporate tax. If their revenue is more than 1 million and less than 3 million, obviously they will get the benefit of the small business relief.
Sure. Thanks a lot. I hope Ms. Cheryl has got an answer on this. Uh, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining the webinar on corporate tax, a very hot topic, which is small business relief. I'm really sorry that we cannot take in more queries from you, more questions from you. But as I said, we have the email ID which is displayed. We will surely answer each and every question of yours. Also, to all our participants who have joined in, we are offering a 10-minute free consultation to our participants. The email ID is given. You can please, given your request to the email ID, and we would see how we can have the meeting where we give you the 10 minutes free consultation. Yeah. Once again, I would like to thank the participants, also the two panelists who have explained in detail regarding small business relief on corporate tax. Thank you so much, everyone.